Okay, well, really hard-fought game. I'm very, very proud of our guys, more so for the resiliency, and really, like I told them, a must-win situation for us. You never want to drop, obviously, 2 in a row in league, but anything more than 2 starts to get a little sticky. And we responded tonight, I thought in moments of the game, well, played well, shared the ball, defended well, and then, I thought the second half, immaturity, silliness, a lack of concentration really got the game going in the wrong direction for us. But UMass plays really hard. The games always are like crashing into each other. Rebounding is so important against them, and we did well for a good portion of the game. But we couldn't rebound effectively in the second half to hold sort of the margin. It was all rebounding. We had timely plays on offense. We made free throws, and we had just enough. I thought of a lead to hang on. If it goes another couple minutes, who knows what's going to happen out there. But I'm just, number one, really happy for our group. We haven't had a bye yet. We just went 9 straight in conference. And our month of January has been a little bit inconsistent and rocky. So to be able to hit the halfway point with a win, and then maybe take some deep breaths here and try to get our team a little better before we go again and then move again, is going to be important for the finish. But where we're at right now, 15 wins, 9 to go, 4 out of the 9. I wish we could have a couple back, but we have to find a way to play better in this second half of league play to keep climbing that win total up, which is the most important thing, which at this point in time is winning. So I'm pleased with our group. I'm happy. We'll get back to work and try to re-energize ourselves here with a couple breaks before we get into February.
Coach Frank Martin just said that you have a group of guys that fight defensively the way that you want them to fight defensively. Do you agree with that?
At times, I thought at times we're a much better defensive team systematically than we've been. I thought that, although Diggins had, 27 in this game, I felt he had to work for most of them if they didn't come off of a second shot. We've been better in transition here recently, but defensively, I think we compete. I think we play hard. We have lapses. We have silliness. We're not as smart as we need to be, but, we talked about it as a coaching staff, today. Once we get through this one, something's got to take a jump, for us to be more consistent. And I think this end we can, hang our hat on and keep doing a good job. But we compete, we play hard. We've had moments this season where we've been really good. We've had moments where we've needed our defense to win games. It seemed like tonight, our second half in particular, we really had a hard time getting that key stop. But I felt that, at the end, we were able good enough to get one. Jaden went up and got a big rebound and pretty much iced it. That's what it came down to.
Coach, when they went into the zone press, it seemed to get you out of the attack mode. 14 minutes left. It only scored 29 points the rest of the game.
They slowed us down.
What is it about a zone?
It doesn't have anything to do with the zone. It had a lot to do with the three-quarter, the dropping zone. And, our team, like you said, being in attack mode, once the ball crosses half court, needs to be better. You can't let a team zone press you, shrink the clock, and then you try to run offense at 19, 18, 17. You get tight that way. You're not as effective. You need to be able to break that press, and that ball needs to go from breaking the press right into seamlessly into what you want to do. And, they played a 3-2 for most of the part, and then they played some 2-3 after that. I thought we had some key plays against the zone early. David had 2 baseline finishes. His technical foul became a problem, and then Cam's intentional or flagrant also became a problem. If you look at those 2 plays, it's probably a 5 to 7 point swing right there, and that can't happen. Good teams don't beat themselves that way. So we have to do that.
On the technical alone is a 5 point.
5 point swing.
On that, Fuchs was.
5 point swing, yeah.
But it also seemed to affect your defense when you lost that attack mode on offense. They scored 44 in the last 14.
Yeah, I didn't think we were very good defensively for 14-minute mark all the way through. They pretty much steamrolled themselves back in. If they didn't score, they got the offensive rebound and drew a foul. I'll be interested to see the game. I thought the game was obvious. I knew it was going to be really physical, but I looked at the personal fouls that half, I think it was 11-6 in our way. I thought we did a decent job not fouling in the first half. Second half, I think we committed 15 personal fouls in one half. So I'll be interested to see what those look like. It's just in terms of our discipline, but teams got to find ways to win. And we did enough tonight. We weren't good enough from the 14-minute mark. I didn't think from a concentration, maturity level on that. But we had enough in us in terms of when we had seams, when we had transition, and we shared the ball a lot better. Tonight we were able to, score.
Archie, when you used their aggression against them, when you were composed on offense and they either gambled for block shots or gambled for steals, it seemed like you got the right shots from the right players in their spot.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, our best players tonight from, I shouldn't say our best players, I should say this. The guys that we're counting on to produced much better tonight. Dave Green in spots tonight was back to his normal self, attacking the basket, had some good buckets. He also shot it well. Jamarcus, I thought, was good all night long for the most part. Sebastian pretty much got used to the style. I think early he was gassed by them picking him up, got used to the style. And after Javante got subbed out in the first 3 minutes, I thought Javante was back a little bit in terms of impacting the game. So, if you look at our team and you say, how do you have 5 double-figure scores through non-conference and you have 1.5 in conference? We need some of those other guys. I think early in the week I talked about confidence, making plays, attacking, being aggressive. And I thought Dave played really well tonight. I thought Javante gave us good minutes, and I thought Jamarcus was as good as he's been just in terms of both ends of the floor. He had to work really hard defensively. And I think that's a big part of February. Your best guys, your guys that you're expecting to produce, being consistent. And tonight to have Green, Bassie, House, and Jamarcus all in double figures will be hard to beat if we hit 4 guys in double figures.
The way you started the second half that sharply, did you guys sense opportunity there to pull away?
Yeah, I felt like going into halftime we screwed it up. Our last 1 minute and 24 seconds of the first half, we dropped the ball on a 15, 12-point lead. Now coming out of the second half, as the game got going in that first 4-minute window, they weren't as sharp. We took advantage of it, and especially in transition, we were able to get going right away. I think a 13-point run in that first 4 minutes of the second half. Now, from that point forward, we did some good things, but I thought it was really hard for us to concentrate as the game continued to go. And I just feel like those 2 plays, the flagrant and also the technical, really messed up the momentum of sort of the flow of the game. We have to do a much better job in those areas. You can't have those plays.
Is there a certain assist number that you want your team to reach? It's been a while.
We talked a lot about assists. We're trying to obviously assist. I think our team's like 60% of all of our baskets. If we're assisted, we're good. But we've been around 16, 17 is where we want to be. Tonight, Bassie, really in the second half was terrific sharing the ball. We had 15 in this game, and turnover-wise in the second half, we only turned it over 6 times. But we cost ourselves probably about 8 more points turning it over, trying to dribble through people and do some stuff. We got to clean it up. But assistant baskets, we're really looking on how many of our baskets are being assisted on. I think that's an important number for us. And tonight, having 15 assists on 30 made field goals is about 50%, so we probably didn't have as many. But they make you drive. The way they play, they make you put the ball on the ground. You got to make hard plays. And I thought House did a good job tonight in terms of being able to be the one guy who could really get downhill. He was at the basket. He made a lot of tough plays at the rim for us. And he looked good tonight. 11 free throws, 5 and 9 from the floor, 19 points.
Archie, what does it say about your team that you're able to, they make the pushback, they make the comeback, and you're able to just sort of settle down no matter what happened there in the final stretch just to get the
win? I think you expect the game to be hard and you expect the game to go to the final wire. Just because you have a 20-point lead doesn't mean they're not going to make another swing at it. Those teams, especially UMass, plays extremely hard and physical. They're going to make the game. They just start making it hard on you. You can't get a clean rebound. You can't get in any rhythm. And but we had enough to hang on, especially down the stretch. And the free throw line played a big role as well. We had some key baskets as well late in the game that, we needed a bucket, we needed either a basket or a drawn foul, and we had the plays. Sometimes at home you get those plays, and like I said before, every game that we play seems to be one of those games where it's going to go to the wire. you know, when we're up 21 with 16 to play, you hope your maturity level allows you to, you know, withstand some runs, but maybe you play with a cushion every once in a while. It's not in the cards for our group right now. We got to continue to get smarter.
What's the bye week look like? What's the bye week look like for you? Any special?
Practice. There's not a lot to do. I think one of the things I'd love to be able to do with our players over the next week, and especially the second bye week, is spend a lot more individual time on the court with them. We've done that in the past, and I think it's really key for our group. You know, our group has been together long. We had a summer trip. I think the month of January has exposed some of that fatigue mentally more than physically. But we have to freshen them up, and one of the really good ways of freshening basketball players up is working with them individually. It's the one thing they want to do is get better. So I think we can spend some time with them this week, maybe individually, and continue to build up. We have to tweak some things moving forward. You know, there's got to be some changes made in terms of systematically, can we help ourselves? Because this is the last opportunity we'll have. But we're in search for a back-to-back win. I told those guys after the game, and it's like, all right, you know, it's time for us to see if we can make one go to two. And you never know.
Sorry. Is Tyan any closer?
It's getting closer. I talked to him after the game. I was hoping at the end of the day tonight was the night we rode a group that got hot in the second half, and then moving forward down the second half, probably let those guys right away. But I told him with a week off here, I expect him to be ready to go for Fordham, and I hope to be able to get him back in. Want him back in too. Want all hands on deck right now.
All right, folks. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Yep.